So here is your first look at a retail and fake pair of the Nike Panda Dunk. Can you tell any differences between these two? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I have another comparison for you between two pairs of Nike Pandas. So I have actually done this video on my channel before, so you can check that out if you want, but there's been a lot of fakes come out since then and a lot of retail pairs since then. So I was going to check what the differences are in the updated pairs and see if there are any differences for you to know if you're trying to purchase a retail pair of Pandas. Shouldn't be too hard to get them now because they are sitting on Nike. Picked up this pair pretty easily on Nike, and yeah, we'll just get straight into the comparison. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the actual boxes from above. And if I show you them side by side, you can see there is a slight difference in color between the two Nike red boxes. And I would actually say the Nike logo on top is actually still slightly larger on the fake box compared to the retail one. And it's actually quite easy to see in person when comparing them side by side. But this video is not just about boxes, so we'll open them up and take a close look at the shoes. Let's open up the retail one first this time. So you can see the paper covers the shoes. This is how they came straight from Nike. I actually haven't opened this at all. So open it up. You can see one shoe's wrapped and one shoe's exposed. Take them out. Put the box to the side. And then the fake pair is here. Haven't opened these, haven't touched these at all. They've just been sitting in the office. So we'll open them up. As you can see, the shoes are completely exposed. They're not wrapped in the paper, and the paper itself is actually flat on the bottom of the box. So there's a difference right there. It's actually completely flat, which is a bit weird, but there you go. They've not thought about wrapping the shoes up. Also did come with this silica gel, I guess, to keep the shoes dry. Retail pair didn't come with this, and probably shouldn't come with this, but you can see it here. So the fake one had that, and it's a little difference to note. So here is your first look at a retail and fake pair of the Nike Panda Dunk. Can you tell any differences between these two? So I think this will be quite a short comparison just because it's a Nike Panda Dunk and it's a black and white shoe, pretty simple. Can they get much wrong? We'll check it out and let's find out if there's a difference between the retail and fake. So the first difference I'm going to point out, and probably the most obvious difference between the two pairs, is actually the inside and look at the swoosh of both pairs. So if you take a look at the retail and fake here, you can see that the retail one, the swoosh is placed much lower down than it is on the fake one. You can see there's a much larger gap on the white panelled leather compared to the retail one. And this is just because the overall cut of the shoe is actually very different between the retail and fake. So the fake one here is a lot chunkier on the side part here because the panels haven't been cut correctly. So overall, it just looks a lot chunkier on foot and the shape just looks a little bit off. Almost looks like it's a bigger size, but I can promise you it's not. But the retail one is actually a much slimmer look. So you can see the part here that I was talking about earlier is much more of a smaller gap on the retail one compared to the fake one. And if I hold them up side by side, you can probably see the size difference in the paneling is very different, and the overall length between the bottom of the shoe and the top is clear to see. So the same difference actually occurs on both sides of the swoosh. So if you look at the gap on the inside and the outside, you can see that the difference between the swoosh and the bottom of the sole is very different from retail to fake, with there being a much larger gap on the fake one compared to the retail one, and it just affects the overall shape of the shoe like I said earlier. So when you have a dead stock pair in hand, another noticeable difference to take a look at is the actual overall back part of the shoe and where your foot would go in the shoe. So if you look at the overall shape comparison, if I hold them up here, you can see the fake one here is much wider a gap. It just looks like a chunkier and wider shoe. Whereas the retail one, when it's dead stock, you can see it's a little bit slimmer and just a little bit more sleek compared. So the overall shape of the shoe is very much affected, and the fakes just don't have this correct just yet. And when I talk about the shape of the shoe being completely different, it's easy to see when you hold up the shoes at the back here and you take a look at the Nike logo at the back and the black panel that the stitching is layered on top of. You can see how wide this is on the fake one compared to the retail one, and the overall shape just isn't correct once again. But if you look at the overall back of the heel here, you can see it's much slimmer on the retail one once again compared to the fake one. And if we take a look at the back of the shoe here, and if you look just below this black panel here, you can see the top stitching pretty much touches the black leather panel at the top. Whereas if I show you on the fake one and show them side by side, you can see there's a much larger gap between the top stitching of the 3 lines of stitching and the black panel of the heel tab at the top. So this might be quite hard to see on the camera, but I hope it does show up. But if you look at this black leathered part of the panel here and you look at the stitching going over the top, if I compare them side by side with retail to fake, you can see that the stitching is actually tighter packed together on the retail one compared to the fake one. On the fake one, it looks like they've used a slightly thicker thread for this part of the stitching. It's just something to note between the two pairs, but you have to look really closely. And if you had one pair in hand, that would be incredibly hard to see. If we spin the shoes upside down, take a look at the sole, and we look really closely at the details, underneath this Nike logo, you'll see it has a texturized pattern on the retail pair, and it also has this one on the fake pair. The difference is it's slightly more texturized on the retail one compared to the fake one. However, these are really close and can be seen in studio lighting, and I would say the retail one actually has a slightly more glossy look to it than the fake one does. So although this dunk has come out maybe a million times, the leather quality isn't the best. It is really thin, and actually after a few wears molds to your feet perfectly. Maybe that's why so many people wear it. What difference it is to the fake one is the leather is actually a lot thicker on the fake one and a lot stiffer, so it doesn't actually feel as good on feet, but it's a lot stiffer even in the heel on the fake pair compared to the retail one. The leather quality is even worse than a general release dunk. So another difference to note between the two pairs, on the retail one, the insole is actually stuck completely to the bottom of the shoe, does not come out at all, and trust me, I've tried. On the fake one, it actually comes out pretty easily. There's just a tiny amount of glue and I can take the whole insole out. You can see it's got a little bit stuck, but the retail one's not coming out at all. The fake one comes out pretty easily. So like I said at the start, this video was going to be pretty short just because it is a Nike Panda dunk, and I've done this video before, and I just wanted to see if there was any updates between a fake one and a retail one, and if they'd corrected any of the mistakes they made before. Looks like there's still some to look for, so I hope this video has helped you if you are trying to purchase a retail pair. They are pretty easy to get now. Purchase this one from Nike. It was up for pretty much the whole day. I don't know if they've sold out now, probably have, but it's a clean shoe. Everybody has it now, so maybe it's going a little bit out of fashion, but I like it. Can't go wrong with a Nike Panda dunk. But thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow, helps me do more videos like this, and it helps me help you if you are trying to authenticate your pair. If you spotted any more differences between the retail pair and the fake pair, comment them down below and leave some tips and tricks on what to authenticate so you can help other people. But thanks for watching. I hope you have an amazing day.